India is currently evaluating a proposal from Russia to locally produce the Su-57 fifth-generation stealth fighter jet. While the offer includes joint production and potential technology transfer, the proposal is viewed with significant skepticism within Indian defense and strategic circles. This is not the first time India and Russia have attempted to collaborate on a next-generation fighter. A previous effort, the fifth-generation fighter aircraft (FGFA) program, based on the Su-57 platform, was abandoned by India in 2018. That decision was not made lightly. It followed years of negotiation and investment, but ultimately India cited major concerns about performance shortcomings, cost-sharing disagreements, and a lack of full access to sensitive technologies. Since then, the global landscape has changed, but many of the original issues persist. The Su-57 itself has undergone gradual development, but it still has not entered high-rate serial production. The Russian Air Force operates only a small number of the aircraft, and its full operational capabilities remain limited. Key features that define fifth-generation platforms, such as low observability, sensor fusion, and advanced network-centric warfare capabilities, are either partially implemented or still under development in the Su-57. From India's perspective, this makes the platform a work in progress, rather than a proven solution. Any major acquisition or local manufacturing plan built around such a system introduces high risk, both financially and operationally. India's defense planners are also concerned about industrial reliability. Over the past several years, Russia's military-industrial complex has been strained by a combination of overextension, sanctions, and logistics bottlenecks. Even routine deliveries of spare parts and upgrade packages for legacy systems have seen delays. Engaging in a complex project like Su-57 production under these conditions could lead to years of delays and an unreliable supply chain. For a country seeking long-term strategic readiness, this is not a minor issue. The risk is that India could invest in building manufacturing infrastructure, training personnel, and integrating the aircraft into its force structure, only to find itself waiting indefinitely for components or updates that are stuck in a disrupted supply system. Further complicating matters is the issue of technology access. Russia has repeatedly claimed that it is willing to share technology, but India's past experience suggests otherwise. During the FGFA negotiations, Russia was reluctant to offer full access to source codes, design documentation, and critical subsystems. Instead, India was often treated as a junior partner with limited involvement in the core engineering process. That contradicts India's strategic goal of achieving defense self-reliance. Unless Moscow provides concrete guarantees of deep technology transfer, not just final assembly rights, there is little assurance that India would actually gain long-term benefits from such a partnership beyond basic production. There are also deeper strategic considerations. India's defense strategy is increasingly focused on building resilient, sovereign capabilities, rather than depending on foreign vendors for next-generation systems. The country has invested heavily in its domestic defense industry, and key officials continue to stress the importance of reducing external dependence. Committing to a Russian-made platform that is not yet fully mature could undermine these efforts. It may also divert resources and attention away from indigenous projects, which are aligned with national policy objectives and long-term autonomy. The broader geopolitical context cannot be ignored. Russia is presently facing considerable international isolation due to ongoing conflicts and diplomatic tensions. Its economy is under pressure, and many of its high-tech sectors are cut off from global supply chains. India's decision-making is influenced not just by bilateral ties, but also by how such a move would be interpreted by other global actors. Entering a deep defense partnership at this time could complicate India's diplomatic posture, particularly with countries that have growing strategic and economic relevance for India. There are also practical concerns about the operational value the Su-57 would bring to the Indian Air Force in its current form. Analysts and retired officials have raised doubts about whether the platform offers a substantial capability leap compared to India's current assets or its upcoming indigenous programs. If India were to invest in producing a platform that is still evolving and not fully optimized for its regional defense needs, it may end up with a limited strategic advantage despite high financial and political costs. While the Russian offer to produce Su-57 fighter jets in India may appear attractive in theory, especially with promises of technology sharing and cost benefits, the reality is far more complex. The aircraft itself is not fully developed, the industrial risks are significant, and past experience shows that expectations may not align with deliverables. India is currently engaged in a careful internal assessment of this offer, and there is no indication that a final decision is close. The focus remains on maintaining strategic independence, ensuring technological credibility, and avoiding entanglements that could compromise either. The Su-57 deal, as it stands, must overcome a long list of structural and political hurdles before it can be considered a viable option.